Casadas, and I am a software instructor at Western Governors University College of Information Technology. And today we're going to talk about backing up Intellij idea projects to GitLab. So our plan is to open an empty GitLab repository, back up our project to the GitLab repository, clone our project to an Intellij idea installation on another computer, and get back up to our GitLab repository from there, and pull the changes back to our original project. So we'll need an Intellij idea and a GitLab account. So the first step is to open a blank GitLab project. It shouldn't even have a README. If there are any files in it, there will be an unrelated history error during the first commit. We're going to add SSH to the GitLab project, and then we're going to install Git in the Intellij idea and define your Git user. Okay, so let's log into GitLab, and let's open a new project. We're going to create a blank project. I'm going to call it New Project. It's going to be private, and particularly important, you got to uncheck the initialized repository with a README. Now, as it says, you need an SSH key. Now, SSH is installed differently in Macs and PCs, so I'm not going to go over it. I have it installed in my system already. I have a PC. And if you want to make a new key, then you type in the command SSH keygen -t, and since I want it to be an RSA one, RSA. And then it asks me the file to save it in. Now, I've done this a few times, but I'm going to change the name to a new file. Yeah. And I'm not going to include a passphrase. And if you check the directory for my SSH is stored, you can see that I now have this SSH7 that we just created. Now I'm going to go into the pub version of that. I'm going to right-click on that, and I'm going to open that with Notepad, not with pub. And then I'm going to go here. I'm going to copy what's in that file, and I am going to paste it into this key. And I'm going to give it an expiration date that's well into the future. Let's do February 1st in 2024. Now I'm going to add the key. And if you weren't in that field, or if you want to change your key, the way you get to the key is you go to by preferences. And the SSH keys are in preferences. And now I'm going to generate an access token because I'm going to need it later. I'm going to call it new token. I'm going to also give it a expiration date well in the future. And I'm going to check the scopes. I'm going to give it pretty wide scope because it's just me. And now I'm going to open a new file in Notepad. And I am going to copy for my convenience the personal access token, excuse me. And while I'm at it, for my convenience, I am also going to go to my repository. To my new project. I'm going to go to clone with HTTPS, and I am going to put that on my Notepad file for my convenience later, too. If we remember where we were, we added SSH to the GitLab project, and we opened the blank GitLab project. Next, we're going to install Git in Intellij IDEA to find your Git user. So what I have now is a lab environment, a virtual machine, and I'm going to open a Git Intellij in it, and it's going to have a project installed. It's a simple JavaFX project. I'm going to add a comment to it. First commit. and I want to install Git. So I'm going to try and create a Git repository, but it's going to bulk because Git isn't installed yet. So I'm going to download and install Git. Also, I'm going to accept the experimental feature alert while I'm at it. Okay, Git has been installed, and now when I try and create a Git repository, it doesn't have a problem with it. And you notice this has changed from VCS to Git. And now I'm going to manage remotes. So I'm going to make a new remote. It's going to be called Origin. And the URL that we're going to use, you go back to our Notepad document. It's going to be the Notepad project that I was keeping those things on. This URL is going to be new project.git. I'm going to use the username for my GitLab account. And when I'm doing it this time in the first commit, I'm going to use the password of my account. Not the SSH, but the actual password. I'm going to log in. And it has created the remote. And now, when I want to go to Git and commit, I can commit the unversioned files. I say task 1, first commit. I'm going to commit and push. And it wants a Git username for this. And for this one, I am going to make it lab user. And it doesn't really need to know the email. But here you go. I mean, it needs to have something there, though, for the commit messages. So it committed the files. If you go to my projects and you refresh, you can see the files there. Oh, and in the main, you see the first commit. Good so far. Okay. So we have now generated a GitLab personal access token, generated a remote to the origin. We actually didn't use the personal access token as the password. We used the account password as the password, and we committed and pushed. The next task we want to do is clone it to a different GitLab installation on a different computer. So I'm not in the virtual machine. I also have GitLab. I also have Intellij installed. And we have a connection. I'm going to go to my manage repositories. I'm going to take away the repositories there. I'm going to add this new repository. Again, I am going to go to my notepad. I'm going to put in the URL. And it actually, first time I logged in, it made me log in using my SSH key, but now it kind of knows that it's there. Actually, I think it's going to have a problem with that, but we'll see. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to go to Git. I'm going to try and clone. So I'm going to clone what's in that. And we look at this file. And it says first commit. Let's make another message. Second commit. And as I said, first time you're doing this, you're going to have to give it the SSH key to log in, but it already had that done. I want now to commit and push my change. I'm going to say task 2 for my commit, second commit. and push. And now we go here and we refresh. It knows about the second commit. It has the second commit message. Good so far. Now if we go back to the virtual machine, well, just to show you what we're going to do. The next step is to go back to the virtual machine, to our first computer, and fetch and pull. So we have our connection to Git. We're going to fetch. The fetch was successful. Going to pull. You see it has the second commit message. And just to prove that we've got it fully functional, we can do third commit. And commit and push that. Commit worked. If you hit it, you see task-free third commit. And also, what we can do is we can go to the history of the repo, and we can see our commit history. So I hope this helps you with hooking up Intellij to GitLab and backing up your work. Have a great day and happy coding.